about halfway into the second week of construction out of 4 weeks of construction here at the Wildcat Brewery. The schedule of how we're building the brewery is a little bit unusual because the ceilings are so high. We're kind of working our way top down, so we work for everything that needs to be done in the ceiling. We actually need to use this electronic trolley to get to the ceilings. Once the flooring is built, it's going to be raised a little bit off the ground. The brew house is going to be about this high up off the ground. There's going to be a step to go up into the brew house. It's going to be possible to bring this guy up onto the brew house. The first week we built out the ceiling because we kind of need like a lift to be able to get to the ceiling. We had a little bit of electricity come in. You can see that they've installed the railways so we can have lighting here. We have one big rail in the brew house which is going to be shooting down on the equipment. So here is going to be the lighting for the seating area because they have to shoot the anchors down from above the ceiling to the actual ceiling itself. You can kind of see up there. We had the air conditioning guy. He was working here for a day. He's gone ahead and installed the pipes for the air conditioning so that the water can flow in and out of the air conditioning itself as well. The second week we started on the piping of the brewery. All the pipes that are leading to the drain pipes here, and the water is going to flow out to some pipes that we drilled up from the basement, bigger pipes from the basement that we drilled the pipes up. The water can kind of connect, go down to the basement, flow out into the city drainage system. We have some water pipes on the side of the wall, can wash the outside of the exterior of the tanks. This week we're all about the flooring. Tomorrow we're going to have the guys build out the foundation for the floor, and then on Saturday they're going to fill the entire floor with concrete so that the brew house can sit on top of all of this piping here without doing any damage to it. And on week 4 the brew house will be coming in. We'll be putting that in, installing everything. The fridge will come in. From there we're going to start building out the bar, the seating area. Last week, the week number 4 and week number 4.5 is going to be pretty crazy. It's going to be pretty intense with all the stuff that's coming in and all the stuff that we're going to be building up to finish up the construction process here. I'm pretty pumped up. I'm really excited to meet all of you, serve you some of our beer. It's going to be a really good time. I'm really looking forward to meeting you all. Every time we have a new set of contractors who come in or go out, it's like a different energy here inside the building. So far we've met the carpenters who were super nice and helpful, the electrician seems to be really professional at what he does. He really knows his stuff. He's really good, very efficient, pleasant to work with. He brings in good vibes, you know, he's a cheerful guy. The air conditioner guy, you know, he was like a blitz. He was here in and out. We hardly had a time to really talk to him because he was so busy, and by the time he was done, he was gone. But when we're working on the pipes, the guy working on the pipes is a little bit rough around the edges, you know. He's always kind of trying to badger for a little bit more money, a little bit more money, a little bit more money. He kind of comes in and there's like this dark storm cloud that kind of follows him everywhere he goes. So I had to be around this guy for 2 days and it's just draining. Yeah, it's not fun. I mean, the guy does great work, I'm sure, and he gave a great price for the work that he does, but he has a lot of emotional baggage, and hopefully we never have to work with him again. So you have all these different contractors, and if you're trying to do it at a cheap price, you're gonna have problems like this. Always one of the things that is a really big issue is usually about price. They're always gonna try to up the price and up the price and up the price. But for the day-by-day fee, usually that's all set before they come, and for the ingredients, you know, I mean, when it comes to PVC pipe, it's not very hard to figure out how much it costs. You can look it up online, you can find the trenches, you can see exactly how much they cost online. And we ended up paying quite a bit of a premium to this guy, but he was still badgering us and badgering us and badgering us at the end, until I told him finally, enough is enough, you know, like you can just leave if you don't want to work anymore. Which seemed to work really, really well. I should have probably just gone with that approach to begin with. You know, the important thing is that we're making progress. We're having to work a little bit extra hard to try to stay within our budget. But you know what? What's a challenge without a little bit of problems? The problems kind of add to the fun. We're getting a little bit better at the negotiating process. And by the time we get done here, we're going to be a little bit smarter and a little wiser. One thing that definitely doesn't sit well for me is some of the contractors work really early in the morning, so I have to be here at 7 a.m. tomorrow. You know, I get out of the gym at like 10 p.m. By the time I get home and take a shower, it's like 11 p.m. So I'm usually like, my body's still a little bit pumped up, so I can't just like go right to sleep when I get home. By the time I get to a point where my body's relaxed and I'm able to sleep, it's usually around like 12:30 or 1 a.m. And having to wake up at 7 a.m. is not something I'm really used to, because I'm used to sleeping a little bit later, and waking up a little bit later then that definitely affects my mood throughout the day and my energy level. And working with people who are kind of like not pleasant to be around is just, it's very exhausting. Maybe one of the more exhausting things about this whole project so far. But in general, we've been very fortunate with the people that we've met. It's selection process. When you meet people, you've got to be really good at selecting the people who seem like the right people for the job, and not just the right people, but the right people to work with. Do a little bit better of a job on that. So we've got running water here. It's good. We've got places where the water can exit. Here we're gonna have like a drain for the keg washer, which is gonna be going in the corner. Trench drain here, multiple trench drains every 2 meters. We have a 1.5 meter trench drain that's being installed in the brewing room. Pipe caused us, oh my God. This pipe right here, you can't really see it. It's this bottom one, right? Like this is coming up We're on the first floor and this pipe is coming up from the basement, and what we didn't realize when we rented this place is that below us there is a moving garage of cars that I think it extends down to like the second floor basement or the third floor basement that they pull these cars up, and there's like a big conveyor belt which extends from the door all the way past our wall. We wanted this pipe to be inside the brewery room side, which is going to be just like about like half a meter in more, and it would have been in the brew space. But apparently the cars kind of go back and forth here, so they were saying like you can't put the pipe here. Unfortunately, if the pipe's sticking out here, we gotta raise the floor too. You can't just have pipes sticking out where the customers are gonna trip over them or possibly even do damage to the pipes. So the bar is gonna kind of like extend out here. It's gonna be like a raised bar area here so that we can kind of conceal the pipes. That's where the sink's gonna be. There's a drain for the sink. There's a really funny story about this pipe. Like when we first moved in, I did the due diligence to make sure that there was enough, like there was a big enough pipe in the building to ensure that the water's going out. This is not exactly a small building. There's like 800 something people that live here. How many apartments are there? I'm not really sure, but there's definitely over 100 apartments. This building expands up like 20 floors or about 19 floors. Also, there's a couple basement floors here as well. So it's a big building, right? It's a massive building with a lot of people living here. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot of people using water. Obviously, there's gonna be a good way for the water to drain out. But when we first moved in here, there's the owner of the building who says, okay, these things are possible. And then there's the guy who manages the building, and the manager of the building telling us that we can't use the pipes. He was telling us to use the pipe in the bathroom, which is about a half-inch pipe. Half-inch pipe is really tiny. It's too small for a standard restaurant. It's definitely not big enough for a brewery. But for like a couple days, we were really freaking out because he was telling us that we could only use this half-inch pipe and that we're not allowed to drill holes in any of the pipes or connect it to any other of the pipes. Which, if you think about it after the deal is done, it's pretty ridiculous that he was saying this to us. But it took us a couple of days to square that out. We had to talk to the owner of the building to clear everything out, and eventually we were able to bring the pipes up, but they actually charged us a little bit extra. We had to pay for the construction of this pipe to be raised. There's a pipe here, and also in the corner down there, we raised a pipe up from the floor down there. Still not like ideal, but big enough for a brew house and definitely big enough for a restaurant. So there was a real big scare at first when they were just like telling us that we wouldn't be able to use these pipes, and they had so many excuses of why we wouldn't be able to bring the pipe up because there's damage. It might damage the car in the garage. And at one point we were just thinking about working with half-inch pipes since we had already signed the lease. I mean, the negotiation process at first was painful enough that we almost thought about just canceling our lease and just going somewhere else. But luckily we were able to work everything out. He's just, I think he just likes to err on the safe side. I mean, I know that he means no harm. Definitely he gave us a huge scare here at the beginning of the project. So this would be the pipe that we would have had to install everything to, and you can just kind of tell it's a really tiny pipe. There can't be any water that leaks through the first floor into the basement, because if there's any water that leaks from the first floor into the basement, it could be damaging people's cars. In order to make sure the water wouldn't leak, we actually did 4 layers of waterproof coating. The guy that we were working with was saying it's kind of ridiculous, but I told him we had to be damn sure that the water was definitely not going to find a way to seep through our floors. So you can kind of see the aftermath here. In the middle is just regular concrete. We did 2 layers of concrete, first to fill the cracks. Interestingly enough, concrete is not waterproof at all. Like, you can look at the floor of our brewery here, and you can see the cracks on the floor here, and they're everywhere. You can see the cracks everywhere on the floor, and that's completely normal. The concrete is usually cracks like that as it ages, and water can find a way to slip through the cracks, and if it does, it's bad news because the floors underneath you could get water leakage if it cracks big enough. We did 2 layers of concrete coating, and then we did 2 also waterproof layers. The first one was kind of a gray layer. The second one was like a black layer. Actually, it's this can right here is like the black layer. It says 화장실 방수제. It's for bathrooms, verandas, rubberized asphalt emulsion. So that was the 4th coating. We had our third coating. Our third coating is actually missing. Anyways, it's all done. So tomorrow, once this all dries, we're gonna fill the floor. We're gonna fill the floor pretty much to the height of these cinder blocks. It's pretty high. So from the seating area, which is gonna be down here, if you want to go to the brewing area, there'll be a door, and then you're gonna have to step up onto the raised platforms. We've taped off the pipes here. I actually taped this so that the concrete wouldn't get on the drain trenches. Yeah, things are looking pretty good so far. Not even 7 a.m. The flooring guy said there's a problem, so I came out here really early, and he's not even here. is this?
This is a pull-up bar.
Yeah.
We're gonna mount somewhere in the gym.
Yeah.
People are gonna get drenched doing pull-ups.
What's the pull-up bar for?
It's a gift. It's your birthday
Oh,
gift.
thank you, Syed. What a great, wonderful gift.
It's a big ass drill piece.
You sure it's not too big?
And now I think I've got the right size.
Yeah.
So this is an anchor bolt. We're gonna drill holes in the wall, and then we'll put this in the wall. As we tighten it, this is gonna open up and get stuck in the wall.
Oh, cool, man.
Just do the top hole first.
Guys, so this is the first ever pull-up here at Jiu-Jitsu Land. All right, finally guys, I'm home after a long week. Week 2, construction of the brewery is finally finished. Today we finished up with the flooring, but actually we're gonna do some more flooring. We're gonna do more levels of flooring over the next week. I'm tired, so I'm done vlogging the baby. I'm gonna put the baby down now. I'm not gonna be filming anything for the weekend, so I can take some time off. Check out my shoes. I'm kind of an idiot. I wore white shoes to a construction zone where they're working with a lot of dust and working with a lot of concrete, so my shoes are pretty much ruined. I'll see you guys next week.